Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Adam's Quest. In the last episode, this little orphan, toxic-bodied baby ended up being our key to the final blocking route. Little Roadblock showed us the way. He'd been hiding the blocking route over here next to his toxic berries, and after clearing it out, our ports finally opened. So now it's just a matter of bringing all of our creatures that we're going to take up to the northern part of the island. And Tanunu and Siana are doing their best to get there first. Though unfortunately, Tanunu didn't exactly clear out a pathway like his father had once done before him. That means it's going to be very hard for his tribe mates to find him up in the swamps. But now they don't really have much of a choice. One of the drawbacks to exploring the swamplands is that there are plenty of those mosquitoes, and these things are going to give them the sleeping sickness if they're not careful. So while Siana had brought Tanunu up here to show him her stash of poison berries, I think now they're going to have to run as fast as they can away. Now the only problem is, Tanunu is not very good at smelling, but Siana is having a bit of trouble out here in the heat. Oh my goodness! And there's another blocking route up here too. Well, you might as well swipe up this one as well, Tanunu. I suppose that would make some good extra food for you guys, especially if you're going to be leaving all of these berry bushes behind. I guess Siana could probably pick up one poison berry. That way she can still show Tanunu. Then she can come up here and sniff around again, just to make sure that nothing dangerous is lurking around the ports. That's my biggest worry, that we're going to run straight into some apes. Though I guess there's always a possibility that we could run into the carnivorous plants too. So let's be very, very cautious as we continue on our way. It looks like Tanunu can't go there, so let's scoot him over this way instead. Ooh, thank goodness, he didn't get eaten by a carnivorous plant and he found a nest. So maybe we could use that in the future too. Now, I do see that we have another healing fruit over here, so this must be a part of Siana's territory. That must be another one of the medicines that she's been keeping watch over. So if anybody does get injured along the way, at least we know that she can heal them quite nicely. Unfortunately, some of our creatures who are the farthest away from our traveling parties are going to have quite some trouble catching up to them. Peach has been so reluctant to leave her mother behind. She knows that Apricot is really sick, of course, and she doesn't really have anybody to heal her like she does for so many of our tribe mates. She has to rely on the healing fruits instead. But I feel like she would urge her daughter on. She'll just go ahead and scoop up as many of those stinky fruits as she can. Just one last parting gift, and then make sure that Peach starts making her way down that pathway as well. That old dark path. She would let her know, of course, that she'll be fine. She's been on her own plenty of times. And at least this time she has her father's spirit to keep her company. I'm sure that she's thinking very, very fondly of her mate Takir. So hopefully she'll be okay out on her own. I guess if an ape does find her, at least we would know that none of our other creatures are going to get attacked because she is so far away. So it would be a very valiant sacrifice. Now I'm sure that Roadblock and Shark have heard quite the commotion over the past couple of days, as Cadence and her family made their way down the path. So I'm thinking they probably want to investigate, but Roadblock is going to try to do this alone. I'm sure part of him is hoping that he might even find some of his own true family. He's very, very grateful to Shark and Rose Quartz for taking him in, of course, and even Shark now for helping him through these thick jungle weeds. But he does miss just his toxic-bodied family, the one that he knew before everyone passed. So maybe he's hoping that by joining up with some strangers, he'll be able to discover his old home. He will send Shark back to Rose Quartz, though, because Rose Quartz is also quite curious about her family. She knows that Mango went off into the next clearing, trying his best to gather up food for the tribe, those blocking roots and these lovely red fruits. But he's so sick, there is the possibility that he could pass away today, and he wouldn't have any healing fruits around him to heal himself with. Not to mention their other sister Apricot is so far away herself that she wouldn't be able to heal them either. So she's starting to feel a little bit anxious, and she's wondering where he might have run off to. Let's have her scoot over here, so itty-bitty little Jasper can toddle out of the nest as well. And we'll have him follow in the trail of both of his parents as they wrap around to the next clearing. I think it would probably be faster to have the baby go that way, rather than follow Roadblock instead. Now, as for Cadence and her family, she's not going to leave her sister Needle too far behind her, but she does want to make sure that this clearing is going to be safe for her as well. Needle has another baby to give birth to after all. So let's have Cadence make her way into the darkness, just to light up a bit more of a path for Wolf Song. I feel like she is probably quite adventurous. I mean, she's probably raring to just go diving straight into the darkness herself. Maybe if we have Needle follow close behind, scoot up here, we could have a Wolf Song tumble out of the weeds, running straight into little Siana. Now, she's been given quite the mission. She needs to somehow track down her big brother through all of these thick weeds. She needs to give him the bluebird feather, in fact, the one that their father intended for him. But it's going to be very hard for her to do it alone, so thank goodness it looks like she has plenty of company now. Cadence should also be able to bury her parents if she can find a suitable place. And poor Needle, I've noticed that she's really slowing down lately, so I wonder if Cadence would ask her to stay in this clearing too. Maybe she could have her baby here, just like our flighty little birds did before. So it looks like we have a route on this tile. We'll have Cadence scoot over in this direction for the next turn. And then I suppose we could have Siana just gather the fruits for now, since she can swipe plenty off of those branches. Just as a way of thanking these creatures for helping her out. She really appreciates the effort, despite the feud between their families. I guess they would both recognize those bluebird feathers tucked behind each of their ears. So it's probably a little bit tense in that clearing for sure. But Siana is just a baby herself, so I don't think Cadence can resist. The one thing Dagger left in her heart was that family comes above all else. So of course that would be true for other families as well. Let's have her dig up this route, and then sniff around again. We have another route over here, but I wonder if perhaps Siana would like to bury her father a bit closer to the ports. And do you guys actually have a Dodomingo up here? Oh, hello! You seem to have stolen our nest. I figured there must be a nest around here if we had a Dodomingo, and I guess I wasn't too off the mark. At least the bugs seem to have lost interest in you two. It doesn't look like they're following. So you should be safe from the sleeping sickness for now. And even though you can't eat those delicious poison berries, at least you guys have a nice big stinky fruit tree over here to enjoy instead. Everything is still safe and sound by the ports? Oh. Oh my goodness. Look at this. Oh, this carnivorous plant is going to make it so we can't use 3 of our different ports. We're going to have to take care of this before we leave. And we're going to have to be super careful that we don't take a wrong step. It has positioned itself just perfectly around all of these ports. Well, Tanunu, I guess you could jump up this way, just to light up a little bit more of the space for Siana, but unfortunately she's feeling so tired, it doesn't really seem like she can scoot around the outskirts. Well, let's have Tanunu move over here then, and then I guess... Oh, we can't even have him settle down next to the stinky fruit tree on this turn. He's going to have to go here instead. And then cross his fingers that he's not going to stumble into a different fruit on his path. Yeah, you better stay very close to your little friend here. I'm a little bit worried about him, to be honest. We better get you guys into the mix sooner rather than later again. And at least with 2 other creatures helping you, you should have no trouble carving your way through all of these thick weeds. Yeah, I feel like Wolfsong and Siana would actually find a little bit of common ground. Since they both do have that deformed paw, they would know what it feels like. Maybe they even feel like they have to prove themselves a little bit more than other creatures. Maybe that's even why Wolfsong is such a spirited individual. That's why she wants to go charging off on her own, because she doesn't want anyone to look down at her. Okay, so there's another one of those roots. I suppose we could have Cadence use that one. There's one by the healing fruit too, but I think we're going to use that purely for food. Oh, and we can't forget to put Needle down on a nest. We'll have her settle down between all of the food, just like her cousins once did. I mean, it seems like a pretty fitting place to set up a nest if there ever was one in the jungle. She has a little mud patch for her babies to play in, and she has plenty of food to gather for them too. Now, unfortunately, it would appear as if Mango had succumbed to his illness overnight. So his attempt to find more and more food for his family unfortunately backfired on him. We can bring Shark up here. Maybe he could even jump high atop this stump just to scout for his family. We already know that this pathway is pretty much safe, since it was the same direction that Mango took. Oh, and so many of these stumps. We could even have our creatures maybe sing mournfully from the top of them, but they haven't noticed his remains just yet. If we bring Jasper over here, that should allow Rose Quartz to stumble into the clearing too, and now she would see that her brother didn't make it overnight. At least she has a root to dig up right away, so she can bury him before long, and hopefully help ferry his soul over to his next life. And speaking of which, yeah, Apricot isn't faring so well either, but I truly feel like she would be more concerned with these stinky fruits. So we'll just have to cross our fingers that this healing fruit is going to grow back on the next turn, if she doesn't end up passing away too. Now, is there any way for us to bring a Roduke around the darkness here? Maybe if we scoot Peach up in this direction, she can light up a bit more of the path for him? Nope, unfortunately he is quite slow. But it'll be nice for her to have a traveling buddy. I'd imagine these two must be like the complete opposite. Roduke had a pretty hard life growing up, so he's probably a little bit quiet and reserved, but all Peach has ever really wanted is to make a good friend. And after getting essentially abandoned by her tribe mates, she's probably so happy to have somebody traveling by her side again. So I think we're all out of turns once more. I don't think Needle can actually pick up any of this stuff. She can pick up the grass, but otherwise, we should be ready to skip the day again. Still no apes, right? It actually looks like some bugs might be coming out of the swamps. But thank goodness, Isana has her third and final gem now, so it should be pretty easy for you guys to scoot out of the way of that swarm. I did hear another Dodomingo, I think? So, do we have more spawning out here? That's awfully strange. I don't see any more at least, and I don't see any major dangers like apes. So I guess we must be fine for now. It looks like Apricot did survive overnight, but unfortunately we can't say the same for her healing fruit. So I guess on your final day, you'll just be collecting these stinky fruits for your family. One final thing to send them off with. We'll have Rose Quartz bury her brother, and then call out for her mate. Hopefully Shark can do a little bit of stump hopping. Oh no, that one weed is in the way. Well, you can still scoot up here, and maybe on the next turn you can sing for Rose Quartz. I'm sure she would really appreciate that. Now, this plant is safe, right? Okay, because I did want to move Jasper over here, but I really don't want to see him get eaten. And Rose Quartz, I suppose, as a way to further mourn her brother, could come over here for the next turn to pick up some more of those red fruits. Since that's what he was working on before he passed, I feel like that would be a good way to honor his memory. Pick up right where he left off. Now hopefully you guys can make it through all of this tall grass too. I know Roduke is slow, but I can definitely see Peach just like pushing him right out of the way. She knows there is a baby in that clearing and she wants to meet them. For that matter, she might even be able to heal Needle. I wonder if she'll have enough time? Actually, I think she will. She could extend Needle's lifespan by just one extra day to give her a little bit more time to spend with her brand new baby. She looks super cute too, like almost an exact replica of her mother. Just with the runner's leg instead of that deformed paw. It's nice to see that we're still getting some of those stinky tails in the mix as well. Oh, she has the lean body? Okay, maybe not an exact replica of her mother then. Her mother is definitely a little bit sturdier. Oh, that is interesting. You are going to be darting all around the grass, aren't you? You're going to have quite a bit of fun in this jungle. In fact, this is the sort of baby that I could definitely consider to be a foxtrot. She is going to be zipping to and fro all around the shadows. She could definitely evade the apes if we did ever run into any danger like that. Now, oh my goodness. We actually have lots of roots for you to dig up. Should we have her waste her turns on this? I mean, we do so desperately need the food. Yeah, go ahead and offer this up to your sister. I know that she'll want you to stay behind, Needle, since you are so tired and weary. So she'll leave you with a nice pile of food to tie you over. Alright, and then scooting up this way should leave you just far enough away from that carnivorous plant, and hopefully far enough away from these pesky bugs as well. Let's see if you guys can start carving a path. I mean, luckily, Wolfsong doesn't even have to worry because she has a stinky tail. We could settle her down right in the middle of all of these swarms and it wouldn't bother her one bit. So I guess that means that you're going to be on path clearing duty, while Isana tries her best to pick up her brother's scent. It must be even harder out here in the swamps, with so many different strange scents mingling together, but those berry bushes are an excellent place to start, because she does know that that was her brother's original mission. So if we're going to have to get rid of this carnivorous plant, let's see, which one of you two is the strongest? Oh geez, they both have the exact same strength and it's only a 2. I feel like Tanunu should probably do the attacking then, because he has extra turns to use. Siana is always struggling with her toxic body. So let's set her up right here. And maybe on the next turn, we can have her try to help Tanunu take out that carnivorous plant before the rest of their tribe mates get here and things really take a turn for the worst. That leaves you with a little bit of extra time to do some food gathering. So sniff around again just in case. Paranoia in the jungle is a common theme, it seems, but you should be safe to pick just one of those stinky fruits. I kind of want to move Siana next to Tanunu overnight, even though it won't matter much strategy-wise. I feel like she would want to be very, very close to her dear friend, especially with this new mission in the back of their minds. It is not going to be an easy task to take out this carnivorous plant, since both of them are rather weak, but they're going to try their hardest to do so. And poor Apricot. Oh, she finally succumbed to her illness as well. So we'll never know if there was an ape off in the darkness on this side of the island. But I suppose if there is, we won't have to worry because it won't be able to track down our creatures now. So, should we take care of the carnivorous plant first? Oh, Nisana, you're getting swarmed? Thank goodness she's not sick. We might need her to land that last blow if Tanunu can't do it himself. So let's make sure that Wolfsong is helping her get through the tall grass too. She'll have to trudge her way through some thick muddy puddles. We'll bring her up here around all of those delicious berry bushes. Well, that's going to be very tempting. Maybe Wolfsong could stay behind then, since she's the one with the stinky tail. It could be her way of trying to impress her brand new friend. She might not be able to pick up as many as Isana with her nimble fingers, but she is still going to try her hardest. So you're just a tiny bit too far away to do any true help, Isana? Oh my gosh, that scared the life out of me. I forgot we still had a Dodomingo over here. Oh my goodness. Alright, well at least the Dodomingo has a front row seat to this situation. So Siana, are you ready? Maybe you could purr just once for Tanunu to let him know that you're going to be okay? A nice soothing song, because this is not what you want to wake up to first thing in the morning. So lunge in Tanunu and save your dearest friend. Unfortunately, he can only do 2 hits, so it doesn't seem like he's going to be able to free her on this turn. Wolfsong wouldn't be able to do too much damage either, since she only has 1 turn remaining, So go ahead and pick some of the berries, almost like she's munching on popcorn or something as the drama unfolds before her. Now Cadence. Unfortunately, that does leave you up to path duty. I know it was meant to be their job, but they're a little bit occupied at the moment, and I'm sure you would understand. Now let's have Peach go ahead and purr for this family as well. She knows that Needle is so close to the end of her lifespan. She's probably not sure if she's going to have it in her to heal the tribe like her mother did, but she'll try her very best. To be honest, I'm pretty sure that Needle is going to pass before she's healed, so that's going to be pretty tragic for Foxtrot and Peach as well. I wonder if Peach is going to take it upon herself to keep Foxtrot safe. I'm not sure. We still have a little bit of time, though. We can still hope that Needle will be fine. And oh my goodness, Roduke, did your friend leave you in the dust? It must be because you blend in so well with the jungle scenery. Let's have Needle scoot on over here to clear out the path for you. That way it should be much, much easier for you to make your way out into the clearing. Oh, I wonder if he would enjoy munching on some of Siana's poison berries. He won't be immune to the sleeping sickness like Wolfsong is. But I suppose if they do decide to bring Foxtrot along, maybe she could help keep them at bay. Foxtrot can also do what her mother couldn't, and pick these stinky fruits, as soon as she's old enough to reach those tall branches. So you're going to be a very, very proud mother, no matter what happens overnight. Since we will be leaving this clearing soon, I think what we'll do is have Peach gather the last of these red fruits. We will have Foxtrot scoot this way to be a bit closer to her mother, but also so she doesn't end up getting gobbled up if it does grow back in a little bit of a more hostile way. Rose Quartz can do the same, unless she can find any more roots to dig up, because those would be worth a little bit of extra food. I guess we'll have to have Shark jump ahead, so we can sniff around a little bit more. But it looks like this clearing is pretty bare. It's time for them to guide their son toward the rest of the tribe, and the island is trying its best to let them know. Thank goodness we mapped out where that other healing fruit is off in the darkness. Yeah, right over here, because it looks like Siana is probably going to need it. I suppose that Peach could probably help her out too. Oh my goodness, but the poor thing. Yeah, it takes off 4 days worth of their lifespan, or 3 days rather, when they get hurt by this carnivorous plant. But I'm thinking that Tanunu can probably crack it open now. Hopefully? Oh my goodness, that had me worried for a moment. Oh, Tanunu, it took all of your strength to break through it today. Yeah, that's the one problem with not having creatures with the claws. Though at this point we do desperately need the nimble fingers. Our food situation is a little bit more important. So I suppose Isana, since she has been watching from the grasses, could come up behind her brother. She can lick Sienna's wounds for him since he's so tired now. And now is finally your chance, Isana. You can finally complete your mission. She's always wanted to do her father proud, but I feel like there's probably a tiny, tiny part of her that was a little bit concerned about giving this feather to her brother. I mean, he charged off with his friend, and he didn't make his pathways for the rest of the tribe. He didn't seem like a very level-headed individual, so she probably wasn't sure if he would make a good leader. But after seeing how he rescued Siana, how he cleared out these ports so it would be safe for the other creatures, I think that's put her mind a little bit more at ease. Let's have her sit over here so she can gather plenty of stinky fruits for their journey, since that seems to be what she loves the most. And then I guess, Wolfsong, you're gonna have to go back to path clearing duty very, very soon. We need to make sure that Siana can get to her healing fruit before she ends up getting too tired. Now, one unfortunate drawback might be if this plant grows back in the red again. So fingers crossed you guys can work your bluebird magic and maybe give us an extra bit of good luck. It would be so nice if we could just gather up some nice red fruits before we leave too. Just as I had feared, it looks like Peach's healing magic didn't work on Needle. That must be very, very hard for her to take. This was her first patient after all, so how can she call herself a healer if she can't even bring one sick creature back to life? It's going to make it very hard for her to accept her role in the next island. In fact, she might even be afraid to use her purring magic again, for fear that it's just going to bring somebody's life to an end much faster. I wonder if she's even worried that she's not fit to watch after Foxtrot. But unfortunately for her, this baby is the fastest creature in all the land, and she is going to dart straight off into the darkness. Straight toward the mosquitoes and the swamplands, in fact, to hopefully distract them enough that Cadence will be able to sneak away. We'll have her wrap her way around to Little Foxtrot so she can get straight up to Wolfsong, and I suppose if she settles down on the opposite side of her, she'll be able to dig up more of those tasty roots, but she'll also be able to get a glimpse of the other side of her family. Now she knows without a doubt who is the rightful bluebird leader in their line. Ooh, I wonder if she was the one who was planting those ideas in Siana's mind, or Isana's mind rather, that perhaps she shouldn't be giving the bluebird feather to her brother after all. Maybe that was a bit of a sneakier way of trying to get both of the bluebird feathers on her side back into the hands of her side of the family. But it seems as if her plans might be crumbling, and the rift is growing even larger. So in the next episode, now that so many of our creatures that we're going to be taking are finally almost to the ports, we'll probably be leaving for the next swampland biome. We'll just have to cross our fingers that all of this wasn't in vain, and that pesky carnivorous plant is going to grow back in a much friendlier way. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!